Good morning, listeners. Welcome to Divine Invocations Tarot. Let's quickly check out the readings for today. The deck that I'm using right now is the Gita Wisdom deck. That's the wisdom from the Bhagavad Gita. Let's quickly check out the messages that we get for today. Invoking all the divine energies, help us read, interpret, and understand the messages for today. Please like, share, and subscribe if you like my work. Okay, the first card is Tolerance. The next one is Conquering Lust. I'm sorry, that's too many cards. I just need one more. Just one card, please. Just one card, please. That's too many again. Sorry about that. Just one card, please. Just one card, please. Okay, I'll take that. That is success in yoga. All right. The first card is Tolerance. That's from the Bhagavad Gita, the verse from chapter 2, verse 14, which says, Matra sparshas tu konteya shitoshna sukha dukkada agama payino nityas tams titiksasva bharata. The temporary appearance of happiness and distress and their disappearance over time are like the coming and going of winter and summer seasons. They arise from sense perception, and one must learn to tolerate them without being disturbed. A very important verse from the Gita which says to practice tolerance, because that is not everybody's cup of tea, to be honest. And when you practice tolerance, you learn to persevere and move towards a higher ground by itself. It's something which is an unforced kind of a nature that we develop within ourselves when we learn the pure art of tolerance. Now, there are times when we are happy, there are times when we are distressed, there are times when we understand our mood to a point that we just don't want anybody to talk to us at that moment. So, what happens is our body and mind is reacting to the experience that we've had, and in the process of these experiences, there are times when we want to react in a negative way, or we choose to remain silent, or we react in a positive way as well, just to avoid disturbances or situations of discomfort. But understand that the primal and the most basic form of yoga is you are living your life and leading yourself to your divinity. That simply means achieve a state of tolerance in which in which happiness does not create a sense of ecstasy within you, and sadness does not create a great sense of distress within you. So it's like maintaining a balance of living in the body, but not living in the body, living in the spirit at the same time. So the five horses in this picture is, in fact, there are seven horses. So it somewhat relates to the story of Suryadev. All right, so you might want to check that story out for Suryadev. Next card is Conquering Lust. You can see the image is of Mohini. She was the one who actually took this form, this divine form of a very attractive, beautiful woman, so that she can steal away the elixir of immortality. So this was during manthan, which was happening at the sea. Sea was basically the meeting point between the demons and the gods, where they were fighting to get this elixir of immortality. So her beauty was so charming that all the demons were actually taken away by her beauty, and this actually gave her the opportunity to go ahead and take away the elixir and give it to the gods and goddesses so that they can become immortal. So, a very interesting story and a symbolic story. Why? Because the sea is basically your consciousness, and Mohini is your attractive power. With your attractive power, either you can destroy somebody's life or build somebody and give them the nectar of immortality. So you need to choose your path, as simple as that. So there are times when we know that we have a great way to go ahead and attract others, but that should not be used for wrongful purposes. All right. And this card also symbolizes our weakness and submission to our desires, which should not be enslaving our mind. It is something which is a pathway to help us understand the reason why we live. It is to procreate, it is to gratify our senses. It is all this is a temporary journey. What is major is the long journey in which we are just moving towards a path of realization. A real path of realization is following a path of yoga, which is what is the next card talking about success in yoga, which is chapter 3, verse 48 from Bhagavad Gita. Let's go ahead and read out the verse. Yogastha kuru karmani sangam tvakutva dhanam jaya siddhi asiddhyo samobhutva samatvam yoga uchyate. This means be steadfast in yoga, O Arjuna. Perform your duty without attachment, remaining equal to success or failure. Just equanimity of mind is called yoga. Now, very interesting point that is been given. Now you can see the image of Krishna and Radha. This is a twin flame card, you can say. The reason why I say it's a twin flame card is when you understand yourself to be a person, your spirit is your actual twin flame. Believe it or not, it's the truth. Because when you live in this body, you are the masculine and your spirit is the divine feminine. I'm talking about myself being living in this male body. Similarly, when you are a person, either male or a female, you could be having a more dominant male or a female personality type, but your hidden personality type is your real twin flame. So, this card talks about yoga. Yoga is basically a system, a process, a pathway to lead your life. Like, for example, I am getting up from bed, brushing my teeth, bathing, starting my work. This is half of my day. This is actually a form of yoga only if I am completely into that situational movement of my body and mind consciousness. What I mean to say is just don't submit or react, just be neutral to the situation, and that is the basic foundation to lead your life in the yogic path. So I sense the message is very clear. When we develop tolerance, there are times when our negativities might take control of our mind. In that moment, we have to understand the divine elixir is within us, and that's how we give the blessings. In fact, we get the blessings from the gods, from the divine. And then when we keep doing it, we will get success in yoga. We are divinely understood by nature, and we are connecting with ourselves to this level that we have developed a particular system of yoga. So, like I mentioned, yoga is of different categories. Bhakti yoga is a form of devotional yoga in which you chant prayers. There are tons and tons and forms of yoga, and you need to develop your form of yoga, and that is something which will help you pave your way to a better spiritual life. Jai Shri Krishna.